Hello everyone, this is Debbie from Ink and Page, and I'm here today with a fun last installment of the Dark Diary. This has been an amazing project. You guys have been so enthusiastic. Your comments have been so amazing, and I'm just so thankful that you all came along and worked on this project with me, and I think that made it just that much more special that we spent October together making this lovely diary. This is what we're going to do today. If you are new to this project, you can sign up in the description below and I will send you everything that you need to do this whole entire project, and then you can just hop back and watch all the videos. There's 3 previous videos. This is the 4th. And today is the day that we are going to make the box that our book goes in. Okay, so this is the box you see here, and I'm going to open this up and I'm just giving you a little peek inside. This is my Dark Diary here. So I'm going to pull this little belly band off here, and then I open it up here like this. And then today we're also, for our mini project, we're going to make a truly mini project, and this is just a mini album. And it's just like an accordion, and it unfolds like this. And we're going to decorate that. And this is the back of it. And that is going to bring our, whoops, I got to put this one here. Bring our Dark Diary to a close. So I will jump in now with, I'll give you a quick look at the printables for this week, and then we will start crafting. All right, let's go through the printables. These are the ones for the box here. These are the sides. So this is the long side, this is the short side, and you're going to need 2 of each of these. And then you're also going to need the base here. This is the exterior base, and this is the interior base. Although you can flip-flop them however you want, depending on, you know, what you want your box to look like. If you want your box to look different, you can also print something else on the other side and just flip them over. Okay, then this is the lid here, and you need to make sure that you print on the back of this because you are going to see the inside of the lid. Okay, so if you don't print on the back of it, just plan to decorate it in some way, either by collaging onto it, painting it, whatever you want to do to it. Okay, this is a frame for the top of the box, along with some ephemera, and then these are the images that go inside the frame. Okay, so now we have the smaller ephemera, and this does double duty for both the box and for the little mini album that we're going to do here. So these can fit on here, but if you wanted to make clusters, or you wanted to like do some sort of like decoupage situation on your box, these would work fine for that. All of these will, you know, these will go in both places. I just wanted to give you some flexible small ephemera to decorate this. That's what these little guys are for, but you could use them however you like within the project. You can even put them in your little journal if you want. Okay, let's do the papers. Okay, so we're going to start here. This is just a script background paper, which I thought would be nice to have just for contrast for this kit. Also, I did print this on the back side of my album. Oh, where it is? It's right here. So I printed this on the back side of my album. I just thought it'd be nice to have a contrast. And I'll go over how this whole situation works, you know, when we make it. But just print something on the back that you like is all that you need to know for right now. Okay, then we have this paper here, which is like a kind of a mauve floral. And, well, this is kind of a warm mauve. This is kind of a cool one. This is more purpley. Then we have a dark purple one for all you guys who are dark paper fans like myself. And then this one as well, which is super pretty. So you could also swap around these if you want to put these on the outside of your box or the inside of your box. And then this is the marble paper that I used on the actual box printables. I just wanted to give that to you, just in case you wanted to make any adjustments or anything like that. If you wanted to print it on the back of your cover, which is what I did. But yeah, it's the same paper as this one right here. So I just want to make sure you had a full-sized one of those. Okay, so now we're going to get into making our box. Okay, so we're going to start with the bottom part of the box because it's the most complicated. It's not hard, especially if you've done any other projects with me. This is like a pretty common assembly technique that I enjoy. So what we're going to do here is we are going to glue these to the bottom of this here. And then we are going to glue this on the back of it to hide the flaps, okay? You could do it in reverse, like I said. You can pick out, you know, what order you want to do it in. It's completely up to you. As you can see, I did not print on both sides because you're not going to see both sides of these pieces because this flap is going to fold down and hide it on the inside, okay? Because I wanted the sides of the box to be extra sturdy, so we're just going to go ahead and glue these together. I'm going to double glue for this one. I'm going to use both the glue stick as well as the PVA white glue, just so that I have like double strength. The thing I like about the glue stick is the nice, flat, even coverage, which I'm pretty sure I probably mentioned. And this, you know, this Uhu glue stick or the Scotch Permanent are quite good. Both of them for projects like this. These are the ones that I like. I know that there are other really good glue sticks out there as well. And it also may depend on where you live. You know, you might be able to, you might have access to like better glue sticks, you know, or different glue sticks wherever you are. Okay, so first I'm going to do the flap up here. I may have prematurely moved that there, but okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to turn this one this way, and we're just going to go right up to the crease without going over it. Here. Now this is going to be sandwiched, so, you know, this part should be pretty good. You know, like, you don't have to worry too much about it because you're going to sandwich it. It's going to be, like, double glued, so it should be pretty sturdy. Just going to make sure mine is straight. Okay. And then we can glue on our other end. And then we'll do this side here. Okay, and just right up to the fold, but not over it, and just double check it, you know, before you move on. Okay, so now we're going to do this one here. And we're just doing the flap here. And then we're going to slide this one in between these two. And just kind of get that centered in there between those two. And just right up to the edge without going over it. So this is what my back looks like so far. It's quite like the bookcase if you made that. Okay, so now we're going to do this one here. And then go under there with that. Just line this guy up. It should be right in the middle here. Just make sure it gets all the way in there. It's not quite there yet. The hardest one to do is the last one because yeah, all the flaps are in the way. Okay, so now what we're going to do is go back around again, okay, and we're going to do all of our, I think that one's too far over. I don't know if it might be easier to go from the back on this last one, because it's not as easy to see what you're doing. You just want to make sure you didn't, like, you're like not over the crease with your paper there. Okay, all right, so I am happier with that one there. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the side flaps now. All right, so for that one, what we have to do is we have to glue this to this, okay? So these flaps are gonna get glued to these flaps, all right? So I'm gonna start with my glue stick. And for these ones, I'm also gonna put white glue on there as well, because you wanna make sure it's glued down flat. Oops. Oh yeah, there it goes. All right, sometimes it doesn't work the first time out, but I'm having a good glue day today. Okay, so we're going to tip this up, and then we're going to actually tip this up, okay? And then we're just going to line these guys up on the corners. Tuck that in. Okay. And then flatten these guys out. This is the most, you want to pay the most attention to is the corners here. And make sure those get down. If they're not, they're not glued down completely, you can always come back and just touch it up. But we want to try to make sure that these are pressed down so that we have some nice good corners on this, okay? And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. I don't trust it. You just want to double check that guy. Just make sure your flap fits over, because I just noticed that. I just want to make sure that that fits over the top, okay? I haven't glued that part yet, but you want to make sure that that is a definite fit for right there. Okay, sorry about that. Let me go back to this. I just noticed that when I made my, like, what do you call it? My, template one, it sort of, like, the corners of it were not glued tight enough, so I'm like hyper sensitive to the corner gluing at the moment. Alright, so now we're going to do this again. We're going to pull this up and in, and then just make sure that these guys line up, and then we can ink our corners a little just to make sure that they are completely, you know, covered and there's no white sticking out. Okay, all right, so now what we want to do is glue all these guys in. So I'm going to glue the side ones in first and then the end ones in. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go with this. And that'll help, like, it'll just help secure your corners, you know. And then also it gives it a much neater appearance on the edge, which is, you know, I'm here for a neater appearance. Okay, so I'm going to slide this down, fold this down in here. I hope you guys can see that. I'm going to try to tip it. Okay, so that's down inside right there. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing on this side, and then we'll do either end. Oops, I got to pop this one back out. I think I forgot to tell you guys when I was doing the papers, this is 110-pound cardstock that I'm using. You could certainly, if you wanted to make this like even more sturdy, you could use like a cereal box or something like that. The thicker the material you decide to use, though, you're gonna have to make more adjustments. So I would use the thinnest, heaviest stuff that you have. There's that. And then we're just going to fold this guy in. And this should help you determine if you've got your, everything's square and folded in where it should be. And you can just use your folder or your pointy tool or whatever you have to make sure that everything's going, you know, where it needs to go on that crease down there. All right, so now we're going to do these flaps. I jumped the gun earlier, but I just got excited. I just want to have a little bit of an insurance policy here. Do this one. Okay, and then we're going to fold this one in here. And I'm going to do that. Alright, and now I have a lovely box bottom, and what I'm going to do is I'll ink over anything white that's sticking out, and then I will also stick our bottom of our box on here, which is this piece right here. I'm just going to take my inker and I'm just going to ink along the edge here so it's not really obvious that there's a white edge going on right there. You could use any color ink. It doesn't have to be purple. It could be black. It could be brown. Anything will work here because of where it is. You're not going to really be like, oh, that's some black ink or whatever because of where it's going to be. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and I'm going to have to just be gentle here because this is my box back. I'm going to put a little bit of glue here just to get the middle. And I'm not pressing very hard with this because I don't want to smoosh my box. Okay. And then we'll just do a light glue of the wet glue here. And then if we don't get ideal adhesion around the edges again, and like I said, we can go back and just go over that again. The other thing that we can do, which I might recommend for this project, is to seal it with something like Mod Podge or Collage Medium, just because we're making a box out of paper that we printed on ink. And, you know, if you want to utilize this, I mean, if you want to sit it on a shelf or whatever, it's no big deal. But if you want to utilize this, you're probably going to want to do something to it to ensure that it has some longevity. And I'll just tell you what, I've spilled water on the weirdest things. So, you know, there's that as well. Okay, so here is my lid, and I actually have it paper clipped together already because it helps me, like, you know, to visualize things sometimes when I'm getting ready for the videos. So, but that's how that goes together basically. So we're just going to tab these guys in. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing I did before and just go around this with the ink, the purple ink on the edges. I would have liked to have reinforced the top too, but because of paper size limitations, I couldn't figure out a good way to do this without turning the top into a total hot mess. Because if I, you know, I didn't want to put like a super heavy top on it, like with the other one. Okay, let's get this one going. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing that we did before. And you could put, you know, like I said, you could just, if you want to customize your cover, you could just put print a different pattern on the back. This is what I printed on the back of mine. And the kind of, like, this is the outside, like, pinky purple color is the color that I used for everything else in this project. So it's the same thing that I used for the outside of the box part of the journal. Just to make sure I'm getting everything nice and even there. And then this side. And if you're worried about the corners, you can certainly put paper clips on these to really, oops, to help them stay together while they glue. I just pushed my paper clip underneath there. If you think that they need that little bit of extra help. Okay. All right, so we'll do this one and this one. And here we go. All right, I'm just gonna pop some of these guys back on here just to get the, because I want to have a nice looking corner, you know. And we can always come back and touch up the glue if we need to. This is a different size paper clip, but I think it should work just as well. All right, and then this goes on top of here. Oops, it may not be, it's not ideal to have the paper clip still on there when you do this. And then that goes on there, and then our journal is going to go on the inside of this. So I will show you, I'll do a little preview here because I have mine right here. Okay, so this goes in here just like that. And then this goes on top, just like this. And no one is the wiser. Okay, we're going to decorate this in just a second. What I would like to do, though, before we decorate it is make our mini album. And then we can put that inside here, and then we can just do the whole thing. Oh, and also I want to make a belly band for this in here as well. Okay, so let's do our mini project, and then we'll come back to this. I just want to give this a few minutes, you know, for the glue to dry and all of that. Okay, so the way that this guy works is that we are going to decorate this, and then we're also, once we have it all decorated, we fold it all up like this, and then you just have to fold it. Oops, I'm going to fold it this way, I think. You can fold it either, whichever way you want. There's not like a particular rule, but what we're going to do is we're going to fold it up like this, and then we have our little top like right here that comes over the whole thing, and then we'll just put, I'm going to put like a little eyelet in here, and then we can use the eyelet to tie it. Okay, so these little flaps here are basically, can be for whatever you would like them to be for. I would like to use these. I thought it'd be fun to have pockets on this. So what I think I'm going to do is do, let's see, I'm going to do a pocket on this side, a pocket on this side, and then a pocket on this side. So my pockets will alternate down. You could do pockets on both sides. It doesn't matter. I just thought it'd be fun to do, like if you want to do the pockets, like 3 pockets in the middle, like right here, and then your thing would just fold up like this, and then you can have your thing go around. It's completely up to you, how you want to have it fold up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut mine. I wanted to leave them big though, just so you guys could do whatever you wanted. Like if you wanted to do a, like a punched edge on your pocket, or something else, you know, it would be completely flexible. Here's me wanting to make sure I'm doing it the right way. Although a top tuck would not be the worst. You could also just leave them like this and just have them like open up and be like little like you know, little mini like album flaps or whatever. Okay, so I've got all of those. So now what I can do is go ahead and start doing some gluing here. I obviously did not do the greatest job scoring that, but I am not going to stress myself out about it. I accidentally scored this on my big scoreboard, and I think I should have scored it on my little scoreboard, because I have this theory that little things score better on the little scoreboard. I don't know if the grooves are smaller or what the deal is with that, but I feel like they are smaller on the little scoreboard. Okay, I'm going to put that one to go over there. And then I'm going to put this one to go over this way. And then just keep in mind, we are going to be adding bulk to this. So just keep that in mind. This is how much room we have, so hopefully that will be enough. Okay. Now, what you could do, too, if you wanted, is cut out some pictures. Like, if you had any family pictures or whatever, or you could do your pets, or whatever you wanted to do, and you could put that in here. And then, you know, have it fold up and tie, and then when you open it up, you could see all the pictures. So I thought that could be a cute option too. So just depending on what you want to do. And then you can fold it either way. So you can have whichever be the outside of this that you want. Okay, so basically I have these like little cards that can go in the pockets. There's a lot of book themed ones in this one. This is going to be... And then I also thought, you know, we could just put fussy cuts on there, or put them... I have all my stuff here. Or if you wanted to make like little clusters with these pieces, as well as the these other ones as well. Like, you could just do little tiny clusters on here, and just have whatever you would like to have in there. And we could put... there's some cool flowers and fussy cuts in this. You can have whatever you want in the pockets. You may want to like decorate this side of it because it's like not got as much going on, you know. And then there's also these tiles if you wanted to put one of these tiles on there. These tiles are the same size as the actual panels, so they're like full panels, but you could cut them down if you wanted to have like a border on them. Okay, so what am I doing here? Okay, I'm just gonna put in, I'm just gonna look at my book options here, because I could also glue, like I could also put the butterfly on the front of the pocket too, as well. Oh, there's an actual book. We could do that. And there should be another one. Yeah. That definitely. Actually, let's put this one in here so there's more of a contrast. There we go. Ooh. Okay. Oops. All right, let's see. And if you have any of the ephemera from the other weeks too, just, you know, you can just totally bring that in as well. Ooh, I think maybe that one. think I might grab some. Okay, this is a piece of that like spooky cloth that they sell, like, you know, because, you know, around Halloween. And it's like super loose weave, but I think it's actually great for this kind of stuff. Because you can just kind of add it in there, you know, and it's like woven together very loosely, so you could get like, you can cut it up and pull it apart however you like. And also, I got like 6 of them on Amazon for like $6. So like, extremely hot bargain. I can link those below if you guys are interested in that. I don't know. I'm very curious now if they sell spooky cloth all year round, because they have a green color that I really, really want. But that was not $6. So this one had like 4 black and 2 white. So I figure I could dye the 2 white ones, whatever color I wanted. I kind of obscured my text right there, but right, my pockets definitely need some help. Let's see. I have to hold that down for a second because of the thread makes it so that it's a little too bulky if you don't press down on it. I think my butterfly here is just a little bit too big. Okay, I just got an idea. I'm going to try my washi tape here and see if I can use that on my pocket. I think this kind of matches the vibe here. And I think I might use like a narrower washi tape for the border. Like just like a black one. If I wanted to put my little that one I'm gonna have to snip, I think. There we go. Okay, I also have some of this encyclopedia paper, and I'm thinking about just collaging that down on here. And then I also have, this is a leftover piece from a previous week. So I'm going to tear that. And tear it on this side as well. And then I'm going to put that on there. Actually, I hope I have one more piece of, oh gosh, yes. These are left over from when I was making books. For, I think it was for the haunted bookshelf. So it's very lucky that I had these just hanging around. And then, oh, okay, so where's my other one? Okay, here we go. I was trying to decide if I wanted to, I think I'm going to just put that on there. I also have, let's see, what else do I have here? I have this one little piece with the bird, but I don't think I'm going to put it, I don't know. I think I might leave that without the bird. I really would like a smaller butterfly, but I did not make one. was thinking about cutting this. So I have a little bit of a smaller flower. I still don't like it. So I think I'm going to leave it alone instead of trying to put too much stuff in there. Oh, okay, let's put this in here. And then I want to put probably this butterfly here, because you can kind of look at this as a, like, it's like a continuing situation as it goes up. So this, like, or goes down. So this could be like a, that's good. And I think I'll put a little bit of this behind the butterfly too. And then that just gives me like just a little bit more movement. I didn't mean to make this one so dark, but I guess since I gave myself such a light background, now I'm all into the dark stuff here. And then we'll put this on here. And this on here. Okay, I'm going to try not to bulk the rest of it up too much, I don't think, because I want it to actually close. I'm really good at making it so it doesn't close. So, I just can't bear to close. I don't want to cover those guys up, so there's that. Here. Okay. So let's see how this, I'm going to see if I can actually close this. Oh my gosh. It closes, and it's right on the book too. So that's actually pretty perfect. I think that's a good cover. And then this is my outside. So if, like depending on what you wanted to do, if you wanted to give this to somebody, this would be a good little front part to put like either a message or a name or a note. What I'm going to do here is I am going to grab my crocodile here, and I am going to put a hole in the middle here, and then I'm going to put an eyelet in to hold it together. You could just do the hole if you want, though. You don't have to do the eyelet. It just, I thought it would be fun to have that on there. All right, let's see what we got here. Oops, let's put that. It sure looks weird. All right, so I'm gonna put an eyelet in here. Give it a little wiggle to get it through. I should have checked to see if I had a black one, huh? Okay, and then we're gonna just pop this in. Ugh, I am not great at this because of my hands. All right, well, we got it going, so that is good. All right, now my next plan here is to stick this through the eyelet here, and I'm gonna make the try to make these even here. There we go. And then I'm gonna pull this through the loop. All right. And then I am going to take one of these and wrap it around like this. And then I'm going to tie it. into a little bow right here. And then we have a cute little closure on our little mini album. Oops. I'm trying to get my loops the same size. And you could use like anything here. You could use thread, twine. It's possible. There we go. Thinking, should I have used waxed thread for this? Maybe, I don't know. Just whatever you can get through the hole, you know what I mean? And it'd also be cute if you have one of those, like those badge punches, you know what I mean? And they punch the like, kind of like the flat hole. That would be really cute with this too. I always want my bow to do things it doesn't want to do. All right, I'm just going to trim those off. So they're the same size. And now we have a cute little mini album to add to our little collection over here. I'm just going to open this guy up and drop this one in there. So we have quite a collection of little items in there. Okay, I'm just going to clean these guys up. Well, actually, I'm just going to clean them up and move them so that we can work on the cover of our album here. And I'm going to grab my frame. I also made a big key in case you guys wanted a big key for the outside. Wasn't sure what everybody would want. So, okay, so we have to do two things here. One, we have to do, I want to do a belly band for this, okay? And so for that, what I did was I printed out a full sheet of this, and I printed this on the back, which is that kind of florally pattern. And I just thought that, I just wanted to have something on the back. So it literally could be, it could be anything. You don't even need to print out a piece of paper for this. You could use, I was hoping to find a scrap paper that I could use, but unfortunately, like, the recycling went out, and I forgot to grab some of my offcuts out of there before it went out. So that's how I sometimes put an expiration date on my scraps. Like, I'm like, if they're sketchy, I'm like, okay, I can always go grab them out of the recycling bin in my office because that's the only thing that goes in there. But if it goes out before I use it, then I just have to be like, you know, that's the end of that, right? Because you have to have some kind of control rule, unless you have like an enormous craft room. So, all right, so for the belly band, I think I'm going to go for like an inch-ish. I think an inch should be enough. Sometimes I think an inch is not as wide as I think it is. I'm going to go 1.5 inches because I can always cut it off. I mean, I can cut it down, but I can't add to it, right? All right. I'm going to see how much I need here to go around. Okay, so I'm going to need a little bit more to make it around mine, just depending on how wide your book is. Everybody's going to need a different length, so I'm going to do 1.5 inches here, and then I will just get these guys and glue them together. So that they will go around the whole thing there. I'm going to give myself somewhat of a decent overlap there so that they really adhere. Because this is probably going to end up being on the bottom of my box here. Okay, so now I got 2 of these together. So now I can kind of figure out what I want lengthwise here. So I want it to be tight, but not too tight. Just a little bit more. Okay, now in the kit, now this might be a little ostentatious, but I thought it might be fun. I put all these like jewels in here, and I put like small ones and I like this, and I put like really giant ones like this because I thought it'd be super fun to have these as, you know, like the centerpiece right here that goes on top of the belly band. Okay, so here's like, okay, so now what I'm going to do here is figure this guy out. What I want to do is kind of have this, my overlap to be behind the gem, if that makes sense. That's a little bit lumpy under there. Okay. So I'm just looking at it to determine where I'm going to cut it. The reason I hesitated is because I wasn't sure. Like, I thought maybe about folding under the edge just to make it a nice clean edge underneath, but I think that's just going to end up causing a problem. So, see how that looks. Oh, wait, which way do I want to have this? Probably like that. Okay. All right, so that works out pretty well there. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue this while it's on here, and then I'm going to slide it off so that I know I'm getting the exact size that I need. You might want to make sure it has a little bit of give so that just in case you want to add stuff to your book later on, you can. Okay, and then what I would do, I probably would do here is utilize some washi tape. I'm looking for my purple. I hope I have it. So that you can just cover over this seam. Sometimes that helps things slide more easily. You definitely don't have to do it. I just find that, like, especially on seams like that have a lot of stress, it's nice to have a little bit of extra like reinforcement, and then it just keeps things from catching. On this side, on this one. And then I have also my other one. Good. Okay, let's see. Just depending, like, this is pretty trustworthy washi tape. If you want to, you could also glue it down. It's nice because it's so thin that it, like, doesn't interfere with stuff. Okay. Okay, so this is the one that I'm just gonna even that out right there. That one looks really seamless. That's actually crazy. Okay, so I'm just gonna put my gem on the top. I thought I was gonna make a quick video tonight, you guys, but once I get started, all thoughts of quick go out the window. Okay. So, oh yeah, I want to put this way, although it really doesn't matter. Okay, let's put this on here. I can't decide which side I want to put the gem on. Maybe this side. Okay, there's my belly band. Okay, there we go. We're going to put this on here. This is pretty crazy, but you know what? This is what crafting is for, right? And there's a bunch of other stuff in here that you can use. There's butterflies from previous weeks, like the really big one. There's this butterfly and this butterfly. These would look just, you know, if you would like to use something less crazy. So there's a bunch of different options. And there, like I said, there are smaller gems. If you want to use a gem, but you don't want it to be like in your face gem, there you go. Okay, so I'm going to slide this on here, hopefully. Or actually, let me not tempt fate. I'm going to wait a second till that glue dries before I start messing around with that. Okay, so let's put our lid on here. Okay, so now we have this frame here, and you have a couple of options here with this. If you don't want to cut out the actual white part of the frame, you know, you can just go right on top of it. Ink the edges, and then you can even round the corners if you want, and just go right on top of it without worrying about it. I'm gonna go ahead and hope that no one has borrowed my X-Acto knife, because my children love to come in here and borrow things from my desk sometimes. Okay. Let me grab my... Okay, so for this part here, I'm just going to cut this middle part out. You can also collage over the top of it if you would prefer. It's completely up to you what you want to do for that. If you don't like the pattern, this pattern, you could just flip it over and use whatever's on the back. Whatever you printed on the back, like, you know, it wouldn't just be random. But, you know what I mean? Like, you could use whatever paper that you want from the kit. I'm just going to quickly do this. I'll speed you guys through this part. It's not too bad. Okay, that guy's all cut out. I'm just going to go ahead and ink on the inside here. This may not be the perfect color, but it's seedless preserves. But I've been using this throughout this whole project, so I think it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit darker, but... I'll just go around the edge here. One of the thoughts that I had about this is if you wanted to, like, I made some images, but you could put whatever image you wanted in here. And I thought also, like, if we left the side open, then that would mean that you could, you know, kind of slide, oops, that's upside down. You could slide things in and out if you wanted, you know. So it wouldn't have to be like a permanent choice, the picture that's in there, you know. I'm gonna see which one I like the best. I'm feeling this one right here, to be honest, but let's see. I just thought I'd try them all. This one's really good too, actually. They're all actually, I like them all, I have to admit. All right, I'm going to go with this one here, I think. Okay, I think that was Pickle agreeing with me there. All right, so I just have to decide if I want to glue this down or not. I think I might glue it down because I'm pretty happy with that picture. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do here is glue stick around here. I get a nice good flat adhesion, but I also get a little forgiveness while I'm placing my frame because I'm afraid if I use the wet glue it won't be as forgiving. I think that's pretty good there. Alright, now I'm going to flip this guy over and glue the back of it onto the box. So if you want to put any like collage or anything like that down before you put this down, make sure you do that before you put your frame on. I clearly glued the picture on a little crooked, but I don't think it's obvious, so. It's okay. Alright, I'm just gonna make sure, oh, with the lid back on. Holy mackerel. Okay. Alright, so now we got our box. Now I'm gonna just put this guy down on top. Here we go. And then I thought if you wanted to, you could collage these extra pieces on the top of the box. Just for extra decoration. There's lots of fussy cuts for that purpose. I may be bucking the system here and being like, oh, I like simplicity. I just like the simplicity of the whole situation. Let's take this lid off though and do like a quick little here. Okay, I'm gonna put my belly band back on here. I'm hoping that now that I've got, oh, I should tuck my key in before I do that. Okay, so this is the way it goes, this way. And that's going to go on there just like that. This is going to go in here just like that. And this is going to go in here. Oops, paper clips, sorry. Just like this. I didn't want to do it upside down. How's that? For that. And look how unassuming it looks, right? It's very unassuming. And I think that it's a good little hiding place for our secret diary. And we can take the lid off here. Ta-da. And then we have to take this out here. And then we can slide this off. Then we have everything we've made over the last couple of weeks, which actually not bad, right? We got our little mini album from today. This is super cute. And then we have a little tag here with the little folder inside. We have our little mini folio here as well with our little cards in here and our envelopes. And under here, we have our diary, which is, whoops, all my stuff is still inside of it. This is all the stuff I want to eat. Oh, these are our little scrappy notebooks. I totally forgot about them. How could I forget about those? So yeah, so we've been pretty busy over the last couple of weeks. All right. Now I got to put it all back, right? I think I might put, should I put this under here? I might put it under there, underneath my little situation here. All right, and then I have my, this is my like disguising ephemera. Actually, I'm gonna add my key in here as well. And I think some of this ephemera as well, just because it's pretty and I like it. And I mean, I just like having pretty things, right? And then I'm gonna put this here. So not bad for the month of October, which is crazy. I think I already spoiled you guys on November because I wanted to give you guys a heads up that for November, we're going to be making giftable items. So if you have, so basically I just wanted to give you a heads up that that's what we'll be doing. So you could, you know, have that to rely on if you want to give some handmade gifts. Oh, this is getting caught on this. That's what my problem is. So if you want to give some handmade gifts for the holidays, you have some opportunities to get it done in November. Hopefully, I know that's kind of probably cutting it a little bit short, but I think it will be a fun thing to do. It'll be a fun way to make sure I get some stuff done ahead of time, because I am super infamous for loving to do things last minute. Additionally, in December, we'll be doing gifts for ourselves, which will be the 12 Days of Winter Wonder. So I hope you guys enjoyed this project. I surely did. It was extremely fun to make, extremely fun to create, and just like a lovely keepsake to have of our time together in October. So I can't wait to see your guys's. Please like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next week with something fun and new.